Phones are a huge part of our lives today. You're probably watching this video on your phone while lying in bed. Did we guess that right? We hope so. What you're holding to watch this video took hundreds of years to develop. Okay, so maybe that was a bit of an exaggeration, but still, a huge part of our modern history has been dedicated to developing a technology that we could use to listen to music, watch videos like this one, and speak with friends conveniently. So, how did the phone come to be in the first place? Before getting to that answer, let's start with another revolutionary gadget that helped people connect: the telegraph. It allows the sending of coded messages through wires to the receiver as electrical impulses. However, despite its uniqueness, it's a very time-consuming technology, transmitting messages letter by letter. It was, how do I put it, mildly annoying. Since the introduction of the telegraph, people have been on the lookout for something better, a gadget that could transmit full messages without interruption. This is where Alexander Graham Bell comes in, being inspired by transmitting human speech across distances. He spent days and nights working on the concept until he found the ultimate formula for a working telephone. His invention would convert sound into electrical signals for transmission over a wire, and then convert those electrical signals back into sound at the receiving end. Thus, spoken words could be heard over distances, which is a massive breakthrough in communication technology. Well, in other words, a phone. On March 10, 1876, Mr. Bell made the first successful phone call to his assistant, Thomas Watson, saying, "Mr. Watson, come here. I want to see you now." A few years after securing a patent for his phone, the inventor founded the Bell Telephone Company, today known as AT&T, to grow the phone network and promote the telephone business. However, it still needed improvements since the first versions of the telephone had limited distances. And single direction communication, meaning a person whom you'd talk to wouldn't respond. Years passed and new developments in technology came fast. Then, early phone calls were made with the help of an operator. You call them and they will manually connect you with the phone line of the person who you'd like to talk to. However, they were quite prone to errors and delays, which was a great issue, especially if the call was urgent. Eventually, this job was replaced with an automatic switch to get rid of these problems, and the need for operators slowly faded away. As the telephone industry and the invention grew over time, one of their key advancements was made. In 1927, London and New York were connected by a commercial transatlantic phone service conducted via radio. The telephone was becoming more accessible and almost anybody could get their hands on the invention to call their relatives living somewhere super far away. If you were a bit richer than most of the United States back then, you could install a car phone inside, your car. It weighed as little as 80 pounds, but you could make calls while driving around the city. Well, it was a bad idea then, and it still is a bad idea now. However, car phones still managed to kick off some genuinely awesome ideas. For example, one of the engineers at Bell Labs envisioned a futuristic phone network built exactly for these car phones, where calls could bounce between cells of coverage, all without interrupting an ongoing conversation. This cellular mobile network lowers the number of base stations needed to cover an area by enabling full, balanced coverage with little overlap. By ensuring that the cells are as nearly as round as feasible through the use of hexagons, interference between adjacent cells is reduced. That technology would later be used by Motorola's first phone to connect people. Oh, the first phone? Well, it was the DynaTac 8000X that weighed 2.5 pounds, offered 20 minutes of battery life, and cost, prepare yourself, $10,000. In today's money though, which is a lot. While it wasn't pretty at all, this breakthrough sparked a global obsession with mobile telephones. If you wanted to make a call with this thing, you had to be strong or prepared to hold it close to your ear for a large chunk of time. Then you turn it on and select a communication channel. The phone is then connected to the cellular tower, linking it to the regular phone network. Just like that, you wait for the other side to answer and you can talk. But you would have to make sure that you give only the necessary information, because this thing could work for only 20 to 30 minutes. And be sure to let it charge for 10 hours. Yes, this is how much it took for it to recharge for only 20 minutes. It makes you appreciate your smartphone a bit more now, doesn't it? But from that point on, the history of phone advancements would begin. It would take me literally hours to tell you how much phones have changed since that point. The change was noticeable too. Phones went from being big, bulky bricks that you could train your arms with to much smaller computers that you could hide in your pockets. The technology surrounding phones has changed too. Bluetooth, 3G, color screens, and even a camera made the phone multifunctional. Some features replaced other tools like calculators. Seriously, who uses big calculators today? It's all on the phone. As the popularity of phones grew, it was only a matter of time until a new manufacturer came out and proposed yet another revolutionary idea for our iPhones. And oh boy, did it happen. 2007 is remembered by many after an astounding presentation by Steve Jobs, who announced a phone never seen before. The iPhone. Its sleek design captured the eyes of many, but people couldn't resist but gasp in awe when they saw no buttons. Only a large screen, a touch screen, if you will. You tap the numbers on any application and it opens. How cool is that? But that wasn't all. iPhone introduced a new operating system known as iOS, a revolutionary app store concept, and redefined mobile internet browsing, which made the iPhone even more enticing to customers. It's a new thing of the future, and everyone wants to get their hands on the phone. Later that year, the phone was released, and people flooded tech stores wanting to get their hands on that new phone. This was a significant milestone in the evolution of smartphones that combined a touchscreen with a sleek design. It popularized the concept of a touchscreen smartphone. Now, it's really rare to see a person still using a phone with messy buttons. Even more rare with a wire.
Remember to hit the subscribe button and ring that bell to stay updated with our latest content. And while you're here, why not check out another one of our exciting videos? Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.